With us. I'd like to go ahead and introduce our next guest, but he's a mystery guest, so I can't even tell you what his name is. And so, if you'd all cooperate, let's give a nice, warm round of applause to our mystery guest for the evening. Let's see who he is.
Funny about that, but I'm sure you're all expected to be here tonight for this. For those of you not familiar with the term ornithological, it is defined as of and pertaining to birds. Of course, that is of the birds and not for the birds. I feel like a little levity helps to get these things underway. I'm glad to see such a large turnout tonight, and thank you very much for being here tonight. Special pleasure of mine to introduce tonight's event. Tonight we have three very eminent figures in the field of ornithology here to discuss a concern that is very pressing to, I think, all of us, and that is extinction. As many of you know, many of the indigenous bird species in our regions, especially in the Westchester and Bronx regions, certainly did not intend to be so humorous tonight. I appreciate your feedback. Are endangered with extinction, and here tonight to discuss this clawing problem well, let's just get to our guests. First of all, Robin Q. Preenley of the Southern Chapter of the Northeast New England Coalition for the Bird. Egbert J. Herron of the Greater Connecticut Awareness Network for the Lesser Snipe. Last, of course, not least, Archibald H. Crane III of the Royal Canadian Foundation for the Observation and Preservation of Certain Wildfowl. Good evening, gentlemen, and thank you very much for joining us. All right, well, to get things off to a flying start, I'd just like to ask again to share something about the endangered bird that they represent here tonight. So first of all, Mr. Preenley, if you would tell us something about a bird very close to your heart, of course that is the Richardson's spoon-billed marsh nit. Mr. Preenley, if you could share anything about the marsh nit. All right. And then ask Mr. Herron if he would talk a little bit about a bird close to his heart, and of course that's the Jackson's flightless bog stork. Mr. Herron, any thoughts about the bog stork that you can share with us assembled here tonight? All right, we'll move on and ask Mr. Crane if he would share something about the Alariensis hortensis, or as we more commonly call it, the yellow-bellied swamp stinker. Well, once again, it's important to realize how when close things issues are close to our heart, it's sometimes difficult to speak of them, and we can certainly appreciate that, and so recognizing, as our winged and beaked friends do, the importance of space, we'll move on. Mr. Preenley, to return to you for a moment and ask you, how endangered is the marsh nit? How much longer can we expect to see this magnificent creature among us? All right, we'll move on to Mr. Herron and ask him a similar question about the bog stork. How rapidly is it receding from our ecosystem? All right, we'll leave Mr. Herron deep in thought and move on to Mr. Crane, asking a similar question about the swamp stinker. How shall I put it? How many are left? Will our grandchildren, for instance, be able to perhaps spot or even pet and feed this wonderful bird? All right. once again, it's important to understand how emotionally charged this issue is. All right, well, let's move on. Okay, I thought it might be interesting for our audience here tonight to experience something about the birds represented here tonight in something other than a factual or informational way. And so I've asked our distinguished guests if they would actually simulate the sounds of the birds. Mr. Creeley, could you reproduce the sound of the marsh-nit for us? The marsh-nit. All right. You know what, perhaps it would be easier for Mr. Creeley if I simulated a certain wildlife situation. Perhaps if I acted like a nearby grazing deer, perhaps. The aberration, the distortion of the food chain that has wrecked the ecosystem and food chain that these birds feed upon. And so it is with great pride that I announce that the Greater New York State Ornithological Concern has collaborated with Fiberton Pharmaceuticals of Yonkers, New York, and created a special product that I think will be very exciting to us all, and that is Yallotin Aluminum Metabil, or as we're referring to, YUM, synthetic bird food produces the proteins, vitamins, and nutrients found in the ecosystems of these birds. And so this is actually probably the great hope of the endangered marsh bird. If I could ask you to take your stool once more, finish up. I'm sure we're all eager to go home. And so Yum, I believe Yum is probably the hope of the marsh bird. And I'm sure you'll all agree that it's a very exciting prospect for all of us. Well, in conclusion, I'd like to thank you all for being here tonight. I'd like to thank the Jacob Javits Center for donating this space for us tonight. And last but not least, our eminent guests. It's certainly been a wonderful time that we've had together. And remember to donate highly to the development of Yum. And once again, our eminent guests, let's have a big round of applause. Oh,